Our second public hearing is public hearing and adopt a resolution amending the master fee schedule for 2016-17, establishing fees for municipal services.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. The master fee schedule is made up of City Council approved fees for the city services provided to members of the public. These fees are for services that benefit individual members. The city has sought to maximize cost recovery through annual review and evaluation of these fees that are set at appropriate levels to cover the costs of doing business and take market comparisons into consideration. The last update to the master fee schedule was approved by the City Council on June 23, 2015. Staff has moved up the approval of the master fee schedule to ensure that the fees will be in place by July 1st, and this is especially true for the Community Services Department so that new fees can be reflected beginning in the fall activity guide. Staff met with all departments to review their fees, and 2 departments, Community Development and Community Services, made recommendations to recover the cost for providing services in 2016-17. The Community Development Department requested an increase in the Compliance Plan Administrative Fee to reflect actual costs and established a peer review of technical studies fee, which is a fee charged when an outside consultant is needed to review applicant studies, and a transit corridor specific plan review fee, which is a fee for pre-submittal review of projects within the transit corridor plan. As a quick side note, the Community Development Department had considered increasing the temporary use and special event permit fees. It has been determined that these fees are currently not recovering their costs. Staff will be evaluating the impact a fee increase will have on applicants and may update this recommendation in the next year. Community Services is recommending changes in both Library and Parks and Rec Division. Library is recommending to no longer charge overdue fines to library cards issued to children in order to comply with the Peninsula Library System policy decision. Parks and Recreation added a new rental fee for the Bel Air Community Center location. Increased fees where actual costs to provide the services are actually increasing, and is recommending changing the title for the tennis and swim camp to activity and swim camp in order to expand this program to other types of sports and swim camps. These changes were reviewed and recommended by the Parks and Recreation Commission at their February 17th meeting. And that completes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Sure. Any questions for Angela at this time? Ken?
Maybe not for Angela, but maybe the director. The end of the Park and Recreation request was update fees for special events after assessing the direct and indirect costs as well as market comparability by looking at the fees charged by surrounding jurisdictions. I'm very proud of our programs and how it's been built up, and with summer coming, we're going to have, there's a lot of activity at the park and after school, and summer programs. Much as I don't want to compare with the other cities, as far as keeping up with them or maybe comparing our costs, if we can get an idea of where do we stand, is it still the best deal in town and the best deal around to pay for that valuable service that we have in the summer. So Director Burns might be able to answer that better. It's slight increases in all the programs, but how justified?
I would say good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I would say that the increases are nominal, and yes, I'm proud to say that our programs are still the most affordable in the area, and you see that as in our enrollment levels.
Okay. Just be sure. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Rico?
One of the directors there as well. Under the athletic field lights, I know that there's a $10 or a $15 in addition to the athletic field under priority 3. So I'm going to assume that means it's either 25 or well, let's go with the smaller one. So it's either $25 an hour for the use of the field as well as the lights. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay, and that is, again, priority 3 is more for the not the general public. That's more for those groups, Cappuccino High School, folks like that. Does this actually cover the cost between the lights, the staff member that goes there and pushes the button if they have to? If they don't, then I guess it would. And I just want to make sure that we're recouping for the field, the lights, and if a staff member actually has to go out.
So the lights are on a timer, but no, it's not a full cost recovery. And in Category 3, this is the service organizations and community groups. So as in so many of the other fees, this category is pretty heavily subsidized.
Okay, and on the Bel Air Community Center, I haven't been down there in a little bit, but we're saying, because we're charging the same as comparable to some other facilities at the rec center, and we feel that that facility is comparable. I know the restrooms are outside, they're obviously not the same as the rec centers, and like I said, I haven't been through that building, but obviously I see it a little differently, but maybe I need to go inside, so just a question.
So I was there in December was the last time. We couldn't accommodate one of the faith-based organizations any longer in the community room at the rec. And there are actually 2 meeting rooms. It's fully enclosed, it's heated. There actually are restroom facilities on the inside in the Bel Air Firehouse Community Center location. And I would say it is comparable to the community room at the Recreation Center, which might not be a huge compliment.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Anything else? All right, this time I'll open the public hearing. Would anyone from the public like to address the council on this item?
No, it's not her yet.
Not you. I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when. Okay, if I close the public hearing, you're precluded from discussing this with the council.
Move to close public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any further discussion or action by the council?
No discussion, I'll introduce a resolution.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell. Aye. Councilmember Rico Medina.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Marty Medina.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.